rise. Please be seated. Thank you, Brother Daniel Liu, for the lovely songs. All songs, religious songs, are very soothing to the mind. It has this calming effect, I suppose because of the words. Thank you very much. If we had more time, we would love you to sing more. Thank you. Okay, may I just briefly walk you through tonight's program. Immediately after this, the VP, the Vice President of Singapore Buddhist Mission, Brother Liu, will address you. Following this will be the talk and the Q&A sessions, and then we'll wrap up the night's program with blessings from the Maha. Okay, Brother Liu, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Kema. A very good evening, Venerable Sirs and friends in the Dhamma. This evening, on behalf of Singapore Buddhist Mission, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. And thank you for being with us. Singapore Buddhist Mission was established in 1982 with the objectives to spread the sublime teachings of the Buddha and also to promote Buddhist cultures and moral values. And for information about SBM, please feel free to visit our website at www.ihipasico-sba.org. Tonight's public talk is in line with our objectives, and we are very grateful to our Chief Religious Advisor, Venerable Dr. K. Dhammananda, Maha Nayaka Thero, who has kindly consented to speak on the Buddhist concept on God. Tonight is a rare opportunity for all of us to learn and benefit from the speaker, Venerable Dr. K. Dhammananda, who is a household name in the Buddhist world. Finally, I would like to thank our resident monk, Venerable Dhammika, and all our fellow Buddhists who have contributed their time and effort to make this event a success. Thank you once again, and do have a pleasant and fruitful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Liu. Now, before we proceed with the talk, may I just give you some insight into some activities organized by SBM, to the two main ones. We have two main groups to conduct activities, one for the adults and the other one more for the youth. We have the Dhamma discussion group, headed by Brother So. He's over there, he's waving his hand. Okay. interest to all of you, because in the sessions they hold, they learn how to apply the teachings of the Buddha in their daily lives, and also how to solve problems close to their hearts. I think if you attend, you will emerge a happier person, more confident, and you see your problems in a different perspective. Okay? Now the youth group also organizes fun-filled activities, and the youths who join their activities acquire very good values that will actually help them meet the challenges in life. And also, just a reminder that you all have your feedback forms, okay? Please do fill it up, and then either you drop it at the entrance there, or give it to any of the ushers there, okay? Right. Now, may I introduce you to our Venerable Sir here, the Venerable Honorable Speaker. Now, Venerable? In brief. He is a very, very humble person. He doesn't want me to tell you all the nice things, but I have lots and lots of nice things that I wish to tell you. But he tells me don't talk so much about him. Okay, now he is a respected leader of the Buddhist community, and he's recognized for his efforts in fostering greater interfaith dialogue and understanding. And as a result, he has been invited to many interreligious seminars and conferences all over the world. He's also a prolific writer with well over 74 publications in his name, some of which were translated into different languages by request. Okay? And so we are really indeed very honored and very, very proud that he's here tonight to give his talk. Venerable Sir, Buddhist Concept on God.
Venerable members of the Maha Sangha, dear friends, thank you very much for having invited me once again to give a religious talk here by the Singapore Buddhist Mission. Many years ago, we have formed this Singapore Buddhist Mission to teach Buddhism, but not to convert others into Buddhism. That is the main purpose of this religion. I have been working in Malaysia for the last 51 years to promote Buddhism. But I have not converted even one man into Buddhism. What a failure. But I believe few 100,000 people all over the world accepted the teachings of the Buddha by reading some booklets or attending to religious talks like this. They have developed some sort of confidence in the teachings of the Buddha. They have accepted Buddhism. There was nobody to convert them. Today, our topic is very controversial, very sensitive, but very meaningful topic. Buddhist concept about God. In simple language, whether Buddhists believe in God or not. Today you can find the answer. missing. What people talk about God, Buddhists, Christian, Hindus, Muslim, free thinkers, all of them talk about God. The whole world is divided into three groups. Those who have become slaves to God, depending on God for everything. Another group try to make use of God, asking, expressing their grievances and problems and troubles and difficulties. They try to make use of God. And some modern intellectuals completely ignored the concept of God. To them, there is no such concept or belief in reality. There is a God in this world. These are the three groups. Now what is the Buddhist? Whether they have belonged to first group or second group or third group. Recently, I was invited to give a talk in International Islamic University. After my talk, one student asked, why Buddhists do not believe in God? They asked, who told you Buddhists do not believe in God? You are wrong. Buddhist concept on God is different. Not like Christians, Muslims, Hindus and others. They have their own concept on God. Last January, I went to Cambodia to attend a World Buddhist Conference. Before that, Cambodian government, education department made an announcement, appeared in the local newspaper also here. Since Cambodia is predominantly a Buddhist country, they are going to remove the word God from their textbook. I went to attend this conference. I told Cambodians, you have done a lot of damages to Buddhism. Introduce them as anti-God. You have no right to remove this word, God. They have no right to say there is no God from the Buddhist point of view. How are you going to work with Christians, Muslims, Hindus and others who believe in God if you are anti-God? So they had to reduce their feeling. I think they reconsider that mistake they have done. Now let us refer to the Buddha. In his 45 years teaching, is there any place where Buddha has said, there is no God? No one can find it. Buddha has never uttered such word, there is no God. Somebody came and asked this question. Have we got anything to prove the existence of God? The way how the Buddha answered is this. Have we got anything to disprove the existence of God? This is the Buddha's attitude toward God. when the Buddha appeared in India more than 2,500 years ago, do you know how many gods were there in India at that time? 33 millions. The whole day and night, without working, what they were doing? Worshipping, praying, offering, chanting in the name of God. When the Buddha appeared, he explained the real concept of God, the qualities of a God, whether gods are important or not, he pointed out. Then I think at least 2 millions disappeared. Because at that time, the moon is God, sun is God, galaxies are God, rain is God, water is God, light is God, earth is God, food is God. That's why for everything today, even pi. That tradition. The Buddha has pointed out, God has nothing to do with all these things. That God exists. Then, the word Brahma, you might have heard, so many thousands of years, people in India used this word Brahma because they have 3 gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, creator, protector, destroyer. So Brahma means creator God. The Buddha did not reject this word. In his teaching, we can find out where he has used this word, God. In Metta Sutta, when we radiate our Metta, again Mangal Sutta, Brahmati Mata Pitaro. Mata, Pitar means mother and father. The Buddha never said father and mother. Mother and father. Yes, because mother is the one who suffers because of the child, not the father. So, regard your mother and father as Brahma. What is the meaning of Brahma here? The God that existed in India. This is in the teachings of the Buddha. Therefore, how can we say the Buddha has rejected the concept of God? Again, Ratana Sutra, many of these Buddhists who recite this, Divacha rattocha haranti ye balim tasmahi ne rakkata appamatta. Advice given by the Buddha. Those devout religious people, day and night, perform certain religious services. After that, they remember the God and invite the gods or devas to share the happiness that they gained. Then the advice given by the Buddha to those devas, those gods, tasmai ne rakkata appamatta. Therefore, it is your duty to protect, keep an eye on those devotees who remember you, who invited you to share the happiness of the merits that they gave. This is the sayings of the Buddha. Again, Devatanu kampito poso sada bhadrani passati. I am giving this quotation directly from the teachings of the Buddha for you to understand the Buddhist attitude towards God. If you try to invite the Devas, to communicate the Devas, Devas always keep an eye on you for your protection and for you to avoid misfortune, accidents, because you get the support from the Devas. This is the Buddhist attitude towards God. Now let us analyze the meaning of this word God. The followers of many religions believe that God created this world. That God protects this world. And one day God will destroy this world. The Buddha rejected this. World was not created by the Buddha. Modern scientists, psychologists, intellectuals all over the world believe this world was not created by the God. Then human beings were created by the God. Do you know? 1998, there was a very big article in the Straits Times, nearly half a page. Pope John announced human beings were not created by the God. They come into existence due to gradual development of evolution. You can refer to State Times and get the quotation. Pope John. Then Archbishop of Kuala Lumpur, Sota Fernandez, is a very good friend of mine. 3 days ago also he came to the temple to see me. As soon as he entered into my room, he said, "Please bless me." Yes. When I went to the church to attend some meeting, he came and blessed me. On his birthday, he invited Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, and all of them, after speaking few words, they say, "May God bless you." After speaking few words, I also said, "May the Buddhist God bless you." Because I have no right to other God to come and bless him. This is our attitude, my dear friend. So, there is no reason for Buddhists, according to the teachings of the Buddha, that God can send us to heaven or hell. God has no right to wash away the sins committed by us. The Buddha cannot do that. The God cannot do that. The person who has committed the mistake can do that. Please remember this. If we have committed certain bad, wicked, cruel thing, by praying to God, by praying to Buddha, you never get the chance to get rid of the bad affection. Because they cannot do that. But you can. The Buddha has pointed out how to do that. Without depending on God, without depending on Buddha or Bodhisattvas, how you can do that? Yassa papam katam kammam kusalena pitiyati. Direct sayings of the Buddha. If we have committed certain bad deeds or bad karma, by realizing that it is wrong, stop. Not to repeat, then stop. From that day onward, try to cultivate more and more good karma. Then you will be able to overcome the bad effect of the bad deed that you have committed earlier by cultivating more and more and more good karma. Kusala karma. There are two words. The Buddhists have mixed up the meaning of these two words. I think non-Buddhists cannot understand that. But the Buddhists always use this punya karma and kusala karma. Punya karma, in English only one word. Meritorious deed. There is no another word. Punya karma means we do a lot of good deeds by helping others, supporting others, and release their sufferings and poverty and sicknesses and all the other problems. All these are punya karma. We offer, donate so many things for the well-being of others. But by expecting something in return. You offer something to others by expecting something in return. That is called punya karma. By offering something, you aim, you aspire to be born in a rich family for you to enjoy your life. That is punya karma. By doing some meritorious deeds, you want to go to heaven and enjoy your life. That is punya karma. Because you expect some reward in return. Yes, you gain. You gain what you wanted. But after spending, one day you will go bankrupt. That good karma, that punya karma cannot support you forever. There is a limited period for that. This is the nature of punya karma. But kusala karma is different. It is mentioned like this. Adoso kusala moolam. Amoho kusala moolam. Adoso kusala moolam. How we can create kusala? Kusala karma, highest good karma. When we do some good deeds to reduce our craving, to reduce our selfishness, it is kusala karma. When we do certain good deeds to reduce your anger, jealousy, grudge and ill will and wickedness and cruelty, it is kusala karma. When you do certain good deeds, reduce our ignorance, misconception, imagination, misunderstanding, it is kusala karma. Because you did not accept anything in return by doing that. But you develop your understanding, your mind, maintain some sort of development and purity in your mind. Then what will happen? In the next birth, those non-Buddhists cannot accept that, it doesn't matter. After death, in the next existence, more understanding, more good qualities, more kindness, more knowledge, more wisdom gain because of this. That is how life after life we develop up to final goal, final salvation. Not by praying to God, not by praying to Buddha, not by praying to Bodhisattvas or any supernatural living being, but by cultivating, developing, purifying our mind. Again, I told you, it is impossible for God to wash away the sins committed by us. The Buddha also cannot do that. The Buddha says like this, Suddhi asuddhi pacchattam nanya manya visode. The purity and impurity, good karma or bad karma, that remains in our mind, another person cannot change. Another person cannot amend or destroy. That means even Buddha or God or any other living being cannot do this. But the person who has committed that can avoid the bad effect. When he understood he had been committing evil, then stopped. Not because of fear of God or fear of hell, by knowing that it is wrong. Then from that day onward, cultivate a good karma, life after life, life after life. Bad karma had no chance to come and catch. Now let us take Angulimala, you might have heard his name. Murderer, who killed nearly 1,000 human beings. The Buddha approached him. The Buddha knew simply by advising he cannot change. There are some people, no one can change their mind by advice. There were two stubborn disciples of the Buddha, very arrogant, very mischievous, very jealous, related to the Buddha also. How many times the Buddha advised them? They did not accept. Remember, by force, another person cannot change the mind. Either God or the Buddha. That person must admit, understand, then he or she can change. Another person cannot change the mind. So what he did? After discussing with the Buddha, he came to know that he had been doing very cruel, very wicked, very dangerous things. Then decided to stop. After that, he asked, can I follow you? The Buddha says, why not? Then he said, can I become a monk, a murderer? the Buddha says he was ordained as a monk. And from that day onward, he went on meditating, cultivating and developing his mind. Finally, he attained the Arahanthood. I think many others cannot understand the meaning of this word Arahanta. The higher stage of sainthood. After that, final salvation, Nirvana. The bad karma had no chance to catch him. That is the method taught by the Buddha, my dear friend. There is no point of praying to Buddha or God or Bodhisattvas, please forgive me, I have done. Then if they can wash away the sin today, tomorrow again you can start. So, please use your common sense. Irrespective of religious label, use your common sense. You have thinking mind. You have sense of reasoning. Don't become slaves to any religion or any God or the Buddha. The Buddha has said, you should not accept anything thinking that Buddha is a great man. Therefore we must accept what he said. No use. You must try to understand what the Buddha said. No personality cult. Without depending on the Buddha as a person, you should not try to understand because Buddha said this, therefore we cannot do that. Recently I was invited to give a talk in a Catholic church. Occasionally we invite each other. Yes, very friendly. Yesterday I had a 1-hour discussion with the Catholic bishop and in television program. It appeared next Saturday. So, after my talk, somebody asked this question. You say, the Buddha says like this. We say, Jesus says like this. Who is correct? Then I told him, you can forget your Jesus. I can forget the Buddha. Use our common sense. Example. The Buddha says, we should not steal. Jesus says, thou shalt not steal. Do you think without depending on Jesus, without depending on God, that we cannot understand that stealing is bad? Why do you have to depend on them to understand that it is wrong? They are religious teachers. They appeared in this world to remind. It is not that they have created all these things. To remind us, because we have forgotten, we have neglected. The Buddhas appear from time to time. And some other religious teachers like Jesus, Muhammad and Krishna also appear from time to time. They remind us. These are the duties, these are the responsibilities, these are the things that you should not do, these are the things that you have to do. They have not created all these things. But there are people, when they use their common sense, they can understand these things are naturally wrong. Let us take free thinkers. They have no God, no heaven, no hell, no rebirth, no karma, no soul, nothing. Very highly intellectuals. Let us take Bertrand Russell in England, Everybody respects him as a very highly intellectual person, but free thinker. Even Albert Einstein had no religion. But when you see what they have said, remarkable. Although they had no religious label, they had wonderful human intelligence to understand what is right, what is wrong. Do you know why we are called Manushya? What is the meaning? Is there any meaning of this word, Manushya? It is in Pali, Sanskrit, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Vanga and Malay and so many languages. Same meaning, Manushya. What is the meaning? If we do not know the meaning of this word, difficult to regard you as Manushya. It's a very meaningful word. Mana means mind. Manusya means one who can raise, develop, cultivate that mind up to the maximum level. That living being is called Manushya, please remember. There is no another living being in this universe who can develop the mind up to that extent like a human being. What is happening in this world today? They developed their human mind up to such extent to destroy the whole world within half an hour. Who created this? God or devil? No, human mind. Human mind can develop that cruelty, that wickedness up to such extent when they misuse that intelligence. That is why Albert Einstein said, science without religion is blind. Yes, they were blind. They developed their intelligence up to the maximum level to discover so many things in this world. But they could not understand not to use these things to destroy the world done by the human being. Do you know our uncle George Bush? Yesterday in our television program, somebody asked how to settle this problem, world problem today. I think it's our Uncle Bush George and Uncle, what is his name? If these two can practice give and take policy, then all our problems we can settle. But they are so stubborn and their, what you call, egoism is so strong, they are not ready to do that. Then we cannot settle any problems. This is the danger of the human mind if it is not cultivated properly. Human mind is the most unreliable, unpredictable, most dangerous energy in this universe. The Buddha has said this. Nahang bhikkhave anyang eka dhammampi samanupassami yatahidang bhikkhave chittang. Chittang means mind. Chittang bhikkhave lahu parivatta. by using his enlightenment, he said, I have never seen another dynamic force that works so rapidly other than human mind. Lightning strike, and we have no time to look at, disappear. Human mind can work thousands times faster than that. This is the nature of the human mind. If they misuse this mind, although people say God will destroy this world, before that our brain will do the job. On the other hand, those who have cultivated, developed, purified the mind, gain the enlightenment. So one day, when the Buddha was going somewhere, he met a Brahmin. I think you know the meaning of Brahmin. Indian priests and gurus and teachers and masters, so everything, Brahmin. He has never seen such serene figure in his life. He approached the Buddha and straightway asked, may I know whether you are a god? The Buddha said, no, I am not a god. In that case, any other form of a supernatural living being? No, I am very natural. Alright. If you are an ordinary man, the Buddha says no. Now confusing in his mind who this person is. Then straight away he asked, then can you tell me who you are? Buddha gave the answer. This answer is very important for us to understand who the Buddha is. If anybody asks you, supposing a Christian or Muslims or Hindu or freethinker, knowing you are Buddhist, come and can you tell me actually who the Buddha is? Then how are I going to introduce you? Buddha was born in Sakya family. When he was 29 years, he ran away. He ran away from his wife. You would know that. Recently we had inter-religious forum, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh. After my talk, somebody asked one question. I think he is a non-Buddhist. He said, I heard that the Buddha ran away from home even without telling his wife. Is it not cruelty? He asked. Then I told him, do you know, because of his running away on that day, today, 555 million human beings run after him. If he stayed at home without running away, only his wife and child run after him, nobody else. Now this introduction, self-introduction of the Buddha is very important. Please remember. Very meaningful, no argument. Anybody can appreciate. He said in his own language. What is the language spoken by the Buddha? You are very funny Buddhist. You don't know. You do not know the language spoken by the Buddha. Pali, P-A-L-I, not B-A-L-I. Pali was the language spoken in northern India at that part of the country at that time. There were many other languages. So the Buddha did not use Sanskrit because that was high-class Brahmins language. The Buddha did not use. He used the language the man in the street. Everybody used. Pali is that language. In Pali he said like this. Abhinyayang abhinyatam. I understood everything that which exists in this world. How did he do that? You know, he had to cultivate paramitas, 10 paramitas, life after life, went on developing, cultivating, up to the maximum level. To understand everything that which exists. Panya, one item of 10 paramitas. Therefore he understood everything that which exists. Bhave tabbancha bhavitam. I have practiced all the great qualities, virtues, noble attitude and principles and morals in this world. Life after life went on developing until he attained the final goal. Pahatabbang pahinang me. I have completely eradicated, uprooted all the evil thought, evil deeds, evil action. Completely purified the life and the mind. Now, developed wisdom, developed the virtues, purified the mind. After that, he gained enlightenment. We use the word enlightenment because of this. Therefore, I am not a God, not an angel, not ordinary man, I am the Buddha. Buddha is not his name. Buddha means one who gained enlightenment. That person is called Buddha, just like Agong. There is no such person as Agong. When he was appointed for 5 years, people say, Agong. Just like that. So, now let us come to this subject again. Recently we had an interreligious seminar in Kuching. Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, 5 religious groups. After our discussion, somebody got up and asked one question. Who created this religion? Whether given by the God or whether created by the man. Believe me, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, all these 5 people decided not to answer. Because this is a very, very terrible question. If they say given by the God, there are many who cannot agree with that. If they say he is created by the human being, and orthodox religious people completely go against it. So all of them kept quiet, then asked me to answer the question. Then I thought, I know these 4 tried to escape. Why not I also escape? Then I told him, I can answer your question if you can answer my question. What is that? Which comes first, with the egg or chicken? So, finish. No argument. Otherwise, there will be hell of argument, trouble, criticizing, attacking. We must know how to avoid such kind of unnecessary thing which create very bad atmosphere and environment. So, Krishnamurti, I think many of you know, very highly intellectual Indian who had no particular religion, great thinker. He said, human beings who do not think, they are second-class human beings. Why? I told you, human means one who has a thinking mind. Others have no thinking mind. Other living beings, they have a mind from birth. They can use that mind only to find out their food, their shelter, and their protection, and little bit of pleasure. Besides these things, they do not know how to develop their thinking. Nothing. Again, it is mentioned the difference between humans and animals. Do you know what is the difference between humans and animals? Did you think? No. In Sanskrit language, mentioned like this. Ahara nidra bhaya maitunancha samanya metat pasubhir narana dharmo hi tesang adhiko visesa dharmena hina pasubhir samana. There are 4 things which are very common to every living being in this universe, whether they are big or small. Eating, sleeping or relaxing, self-protection and sex. Every creature, whether big or small, eating, sleeping, protecting their life and experiencing sex. Every living being. So if human beings also spend their life only for this purpose, what is the difference between humans and animals? Is there any difference? We can say, they have tail, we have no tail. They have 4 legs, we have only 2 legs. There is no only difference. But there is a difference. Dharmo hi tesang adhiko visesa. There is something which is called dharma. This dharma we cannot find in any of their mind. This dharma we develop by thinking, understanding, reasoning, realizing, experiencing, but others do not get this. By thinking they cannot. By force we can tame them. The lions and tigers we can tame by beating and beating. Because of fear, they follow, but not through understanding. No development in their mind. So, what is this dharma? Today we use the word religion. For this ancient word, we use the word religion. What is the meaning of religion? When you see the dictionary, you can see so many meanings. But this is not an English word. This is either Latin or Greek. I am not sure whether Latin or Greek. The original word is religio. What is the meaning? Binding. Religio means binding, that's all. But when this becomes a religious word, as religion, they have given another meaning for that. Binding to God. That word binding to the word God. Binding to God, worshipping, praying to God, so many words later they add. That is religion. Binding to God. But Dhamma, Dhar is a Sanskrit word. You know, Sanskrit, Pali, Hindi, all those languages, they have root of the word. From this root, create the word. Dhar is the root of the word. Dhar means hold. Dharma means that which hold us. Dharma. The definition is given. Chatusu apayesu cha vatta dukkhesu cha apatamane kattva dhareti iti dhamma. Dharma means the method that we uphold, never allow us to get into hell, animal, a spirit, ghost, devil, or unfortunate living being. Dharma is holding us without allowing to get into this unfortunate state. See how meaningful it is. Again, in the teachings of the Buddha, Dhammo have rakhati dhammachari. One who lives in accordance with the Dharma. Dharma is the universal law. This universal law protects us, supports us. If we violate this universal law, this Dharma, we have to experience the bad effect. Even without religious label, universal law, take for instance, every living being has living right. It is a universal law. We have no right to destroy their life by violating that universal law. Then we go against the Dharma. Then we have to pay the bad effect for that by violating that universal law. All the existing qualities, virtues, principles, duties, responsibilities belong to this universal law. Of course, many people believe given by the God, or some people say given by the Buddha, or given by the Bodhisattvas. But when we use our common sense, we can understand according to our experience. For millions of years, our experience. Then finally when development, understanding develop and develop and develop. Then we decided, understood, oh, these things are bad, these things are good, these things are useful, these things are dangerous. Then harmony, unity, cooperation, understanding, patience, tolerance, all those things are not given by another, God or Buddha, our own experience. So, now scientific knowledge is working. That scientific knowledge is very dangerous. We have gone beyond the limit of our normal human intelligence. I told you just now, all the nuclear weapons that they have produced so far, if they have collected and blast at once, the whole world turn into ashes within half an hour. So we are living on time bomb. Not only that, they believe the moon also will be affected. Yes, that energy, moon also will be affected. If man can land on the moon, no, I cannot send this energy into the moon. So this is the problems with the human life. We have religions. Actually, nobody wants to practice religion, tell you very frankly. They are doing something else in the name of religion. Some people try to show they are religious people by praying 100 times a day. They are religious people because they worship. Some others pray and worship. Some others offerings and offering. Some others burning and burning and burning and joysticks and papers, and they try to show they are religious. My dear friend, where is religion? Religion is in the mind. Religion is not in the temple. Religion is not in the Buddha image. Religion is not in the church or the mosque. We have converted, our mind converted them into places of worship. It is not that building itself become holy. Our mind created it. Therefore, religion is in the mind. Then what is the use of our praying and worshipping and offering? If you cannot reduce our anger, jealousy and grudge and ill will and enmity and cruelty and all the wicked things from the mind, what is the use of worshipping? Main purpose of religion is to train the mind. If religion cannot do that, no point of following any religion. We bluff. Religious people, actually they bluff every religion for their own benefit, collecting more donation, building huge building, pagodas, images to collect money. There is no religion. Religion is in the build up our mind. Reduce our jealousy, anger, greed and enmity and cruelty, wickedness. Then everybody can live peacefully. Religion is there. So, today they misuse. Politicians complete politics, they polluted religion. For their benefit, they use the name of religion. Politicians. For their material gain, they use religion. It is not that they want to send them to heaven, to collect more money. Use name of religion for that. My dear friend, I beg you, I advise you to think what I have said. Try to adjust, change little bit of your thinking and understanding and way of life. By realizing these things are bad, we know they are bad. Not because Buddha or Jesus or Muhammad said like this, we know they are bad. And these things are good, we also can understand. We make mistake not because we are stupid, just because we do not know that it is wrong. Why do we commit bad things secretly? Knowing it is wrong. Otherwise, no reason for us to do secretly. We know it is wrong. Therefore, we have to train the mind. When you observe the precept, 5 precepts, you recite one word, is a very important word. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadam. Sikkhapadam Samadhiya. What is the meaning of this? It is not a law. In Buddhism, you cannot find law. You cannot find commandment. You cannot find religious punishment in Buddhism. All these are advices given by the Buddha. He said, if you do this, you have to pay for them. If you do this, you can have a peaceful life. That is his way of life. He has never said, you should not do this, or you must do this. He never used that language. He never said, if you don't follow me, I send you to hell. So, now let us take this word, Sikkhapadam Samadhiya. What does it mean? I try to train my mind not to do when this bad idea appears in my mind. See how meaningful it is. Not as a law given by the God or Buddha or anybody. By knowing it is wrong, I try to train my mind not to do this when that idea appears in the mind. That is why you recite those 5, Panatipata, Adinadana, Sikkhapadam, train the mind. Therefore, main purpose, as I mentioned, the main purpose of all these existing religions is to train, to develop the mind, to gain better understanding. Why unnecessary, unhealthy, unethical religious competition among these existing religions? For what purpose? Religion has become nuisance to the public. No peace because of religion. What is the purpose of religion? More than 100 Muslim university students came to our temple last Sunday to learn Buddhism for 2 hours. They are educated, some lecturers. After my talk, I told them, by listening to me, if one of you come and tell me that you want to become a Buddhist, then I ask, what is wrong with your religion? What is wrong with your religion? Can you tell me? If you really practice your religion, you are very close to us. Just because you do not practice your religion, you are far away from our religion. So what people are doing in the name of religion? They do not follow the religious principles. Just pray and worship, that's all. then religious harmony, unity. If religionists cannot develop harmony and patience and tolerance and understanding, how can they advise others to develop all these qualities? Every religion teaches love others, but they cannot love another religion. Enemy. Another religion is enemy. Why they cannot love others? Because they believe it is their duty to condemn, to accuse, to blame other religion. This is my religion, therefore I must protect them, drag others into my religion, condemn all the other religions. What a pity, what happened to religion? This is the nature of religion. The whole world is a battlefield today because of religion. If they remain without any religious label, I think they can live peacefully. We started at what time? 8, isn't it? Now 9:15. So anything else that you want me to? Thank you very much. I really appreciate your indulgence. Very respectfully, you have listened to what I said, and nobody wanted to challenge. You can challenge if you like. I have no objection, but I don't want to challenge. Anything that you want to know, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for the very interesting talk. Want some more? Come to SBM tomorrow, Sunday, 2 p.m. You hear more. Okay? I hope you know where SBM is. It's at number 9 Ruby Lane, off Opal Crescent, off Serangoon Road, opposite the fire station. There's a coffee shop there, very well known for its fish head steamboat, I think. So if you can find that steamboat, you probably find SBM. It's not connected to the steamboat. Okay. I used to say, thank God, and oh my God. You know, actually no reference to any God, you see, but I was in a situation where I just said, oh thank God, oh my God, you know, maybe I should say, thank Buddha, or otherwise. Anyway, now that you've heard the Buddhist concept on God, I'm sure you have lots of questions to ask. There are mics on the floor here. Okay, please use them. If you're too shy, I think the ushers here, they have little pieces of paper for you to pen your questions or your thoughts. You're most welcome. While waiting, I'd just like to say this. After this question and answer session, we will be inviting all the members of the Maha, that is the monks here, up on stage to give the blessings. After the blessings, please be seated, don't go away, because I have some very interesting announcements, okay, to make.
I directly mention what the Buddha has said. You know, Mahayana schools developed later, they have incorporated some new concept. They are very meaningful, they are very useful. Let us take Bodhisattva, or Avalokitesvara, or Goddess of Mercy. They regard them as God. Therefore, they also cannot say they don't believe in God. They worship and pray to Avalokitesvara, or Goddess of Mercy, as a God. And Bodhisattvas also they worship as God. So this concept is there. They cannot get rid of this belief.
Okay, Venerable Sir, there's a question from a member of the audience. If there were no God, to whom do you pray and give thanks from a God-fearing Christian?
This Christian, we had to answer this from Buddhist point of view or? Yeah. From Buddhist point of view, in my life, I have never prayed to anybody. Do you believe that? I use my effort, my knowledge, my understanding to do my work without expecting anything from heaven. There's a nice saying in Sanskrit language. Udyoginam Purusha Singha Mupaiti Lakshmi Daivena Daiva Mitika Purusha Vadanti Daivang Nihatya Kuru Paurusha Mahatma Satya Yatne Krite Yadina Siddhati Kotra Dosa. I like this very much, this saying. Meaning is, those who believe in God, when they are in trouble, without using their effort and knowledge and understanding, they go on praying and praying and praying and worshipping and worshipping. I can give an example. This is not a very pleasant one. Please forgive me. A young couple, after their marriage, they were expecting a baby for 1 or 2 years, no news. But every day they go to church, they are Christian. Every day go and ask the priest, please pray, oh God, we want a child. Now these priests also got fed up with them. Then what he said, it seems you depend on God to have a baby. Why not you too also try it? Exactly like this. Instead of depending on God for everything, there are many things that we can do, we can find out, we can gain what we want. No need to depend on God for everything. Example. Now you believe in God. God will protect you and everything. You go away without closing your door. What guarantee is there? God will protect your house until you come back. That means you have neglected your duty. Whether God exists or not, you should not forget your duty. The Buddhism is like this. Buddhism says whether God exists or not, whether exists, no harm at all. But don't forget your duty because of God.
Okay, there's another question for you, Venerable Sir. Believing in God makes us humble. What makes a Buddhist humble?
Humble. Well, when you believe something, we surrender. When you surrender, we become humble.
Okay, there's another question for you, Venerable Sir. How does a Buddhist sustain his faith if he does not believe in God?
They can remain as a better Buddhist without depending on God by using his or her full effort and understanding, by observing precepts and principles and good qualities without depending on anybody. So he can remain as a better Buddhist.
Thank you. The next question. Members of the public, please use the microphone. If you have any questions to ask, please.
Venerable Doctor, can I ask you a question? From the Christian point of view, they always believe that is the end of the world. But does Buddhists think likewise?
My dear friends, why do you want to depend on religion, depend on God, to understand that there will be an end to everything in this world? If there is anything to come into existence, yang kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbantan nirodha dhammam. First sermon of the Buddha, he said, if there is anything that come into existence due to combinations of elements and energies, that will never remain forever, without changing, without decaying, without disintegrating. The sun and the moons and the galaxies and the earth and anything that will exist are subjected to this. They appear, exist, change, decay, disintegrate. Again reappear due to dispersed particles. There are certain particles and energies never disappear. And again formation takes place. That is why the Buddha says, there is neither beginning nor an end. Bertrand Russell, I mentioned his name. He has written a book. He says, among the founders of all those religions, I respect only one man. He is the Buddha. Why should I respect? The founders of all the other religions, that is his language, not my language, made false statement about the beginning of this world. This world was created by so and so, such and such time. It shows how poor their understanding about the world. Buddha is the only man who never made such false statement. He knew what this world is. That is why he said there is neither beginning nor an end. Always they appear, disappear, appear, disappear. This is the nature of the universe.
Yeah, sir. So I have two questions to ask. The first question is about this attaining the Buddhahood, where the priorities is about purifying the mind, purifying the actions to attain Nirvana. So at one time when persons get to attain the statehood of purification, like any of the monks that exist around the world, so are they considered attaining Buddhahood, and we can also classify them as Buddha? And my next question is...
No. One is enough. The answer is very simple. Not at all. Becoming a Buddha is the most difficult task in this world. Now within this world cycle, from the very beginning up to this, only 4 Buddhas appear. Before the end of this world system, before this disintegrate, another Buddha will appear. He will be the last one within this world cycle. When the next world cycle starts, again Buddhas appear from time to time. There are 3 religions mentioned: Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism. Before the end of this world, Buddhism says another Buddha will appear. Christianity says second coming of Jesus before the end of this world. Hinduism says among the 10 incarnations of God, last incarnation appeared before the end of this world. Only religion that never talk anything about another prophet or messenger or the Buddha is Islam. Only God, nothing but God, no any other God. It's a good question. Philosophy is not religion. Philosophy is to get knowledge, nothing to practice. But in religion, we can find philosophy, psychology, and concept, belief in religion. Without concept, without belief, there is no religion. So, the Buddha's advice is, yes, philosophy alone cannot purify your mind. Psychology alone cannot purify. Belief alone cannot purify. You have to purify your mind by knowing the nature of your mind, introspect, mindfulness and watchfulness of the nature of mind. What are the things that disturbing your mind? All of us have greed, selfishness, anger, jealousy, grudge, ill will, enmity, self-cruelty, wickedness, ignorance. All of us. So we had to reduce one by one all these evil forces from the mind. Then we cultivate the kindness, sympathy, compassion, harmony, unity, patience, tolerance, wisdom, we cultivate. Now, those things have no chance to cultivate because evil forces are dominating our mind. So religion is important to reduce those evil forces from the mind, to cultivate all the good thoughts. Then the final salvation we can find.
Yes, can you speak?
Sir, I have a question here. What actually is good karma? Is good karma like helping old lady across the road?
This party?
Or
Where are you?
Is it like cultivation of mind?
Oh,
You can see. Okay, sir. So, what actually is good karma? Is good karma helping old lady across the street, donating to the poor, or is it the cultivation of mind? And what actually is bad karma? Let's say, for example, if in my mind, I feel like hitting someone, but I did not do it because of some legal obligations. Okay, so is that considered bad karma? Do I have to hit the person?
mind itself itself cannot create karma. Simply by thinking, I want to do that. But there are three things mind itself can create. But all the other activities, mind cannot create good karma or bad karma until we put into action with intention. Unintentionally, we may do a lot of bad things. We cannot create bad karma. Take for instance, when you drive a motor car, you may kill cats and dogs and so many other creatures on the way. They die because of you. But you did not create any bad karma because that intention is not in your mind. There's an action alone cannot create karma. The mind must go with that. Then there are good things as good karma. Mention about 8 of them as most important good karma. Dhanam, Silancha, Bhavana, Bhakti, Pathanumodana, Vijayavaccha, Apachayana, Desana, Sutti, Ditti, you 8. 8 kind of good karma. They are very important for us to cultivate our religious way of life. Start with dana. Dana means giving, offering, donating, sacrificing something for the well-being of others. If you don't do that, you maintain selfishness, stinginess, and by disregarding others, you enjoy your life. But you have not accumulated enough good karma for you to spend in the next existence. As Buddhists, we believe this is not the first and the last. After this, whether we believe or not, whether we can understand or not, naturally, existence again takes place. Take for instance, birth is natural. Sicknesses are natural. Old age is natural. No need to believe. Death is natural. No need to believe. If anything happens after our death, that is also natural. Not according to God or the Buddha or religion, it is natural. Therefore, by knowing this, we have to prepare. Continue without suffering, without facing troubles and problems and difficulties. To avoid all these things, we have to do more and more good karma. Then we can continue our life without facing a lot of problems. Now, in this world, how many millions human beings starving, dying, without piece of clothes to wear, I have seen, without shelter, under the tree or the pavement or roadside, birth and death both, winter and rainy season, whole day and night, they had to live. Animals can live without shelter because they have skins and they protect the body, but we cannot. And no medicines when they suffer from sickness. From birth up to the death, life is nothing but suffering. Who created them to suffer like this? People believe God created all these living beings. If God created them, it is not His duty to provide them food and clothing and lodging and medicines and this and that. How can God keep quiet without creating them? A father, after producing few children, keep quiet without providing their food and necessary things, keep quiet. Therefore, we don't believe. This is the reason. Although they had the chance to become humans, they have not accumulated enough good karma to carry on, to maintain their life without suffering. That is why the good karmas are natural, very important. Punyani paralokasmin patitthavanti panina. Buddha's advice. After our death, there is nobody in this world who can support us. Only our own karma. If we have done some good karma, this good karma provide, support all our requisite for us to lead our life without suffering. Throughout life after life, we have to carry on. The Buddha's advice is, how long can you carry on like this? Is it not suffering? Where is the end of it? Therefore you must try to find out the end of it. Then you will be free from all these suffering. That is called salvation.
Good evening. So sorry.
Where are you?
I have to crawl there to come here to ask you a question, because I definitely must not miss this opportunity. Otherwise, I don't know when I can ask this question. I'm a Buddhist. I believe in karma. But the thing is, there's one question which I'm wondering very much. There's a distant relative who is only 40 years old, and he is suffering from cancer. Right now, he's still in the hospital, and his suffering is so terrible. I just want to know, is it that he has a lot of bad karma last life, and that's why this life he has to suffer till his death? Because at the moment, I still go and visit him very often, and each time when I see the way he suffer, is there a ending to this karma, to this bad karma? Maybe last life he done a lot of bad things. His karma has to put him in such a way to suffer till death. I think, it looks like he's going to die soon. So I pray to God. God means, Buddha. To ease his suffering. In a way that, if ask Buddha or Goddess of Mercy to have some mercy for him. If want to let him die, let him die fast. Don't let him suffer like that. Because physically he's suffering a lot, and financially he's suffering a lot also. Because right now the bill is going higher and higher every day, coming to about 20 to 30K, 26K, the latest figure I got. So thank you very much, Doctor.
Do you know, 8 months ago, I had prostate gland cancer. Doctor confirmed. They have taken all the X-ray and bone scanning and all those things, and it is very aggressive cancer in the prostate. He told me directly. When he told me, I laughed. Then this doctor is very funny. I have never met another patient when I mentioned that you are having cancer. You don't know what to do now. But if you laugh, I really cannot understand. Then to console me, he told me, do you know, these are the problems that we had to face. Then I told him, Doctor, these are not problems. When we take things seriously into our mind, we create the problem. Otherwise, there are no problems in this world. Remember. Then what happened? He told me he wanted to treat me. Retreatment. Then I told him, please don't give me chemotherapy. because my hair may drop. He gave another kind of treatment for 6 months, every day. Then he told me, side effect. Everybody experience some sort of side effect. Either vomiting, burning, purging, and burning the skin. You had to face it. I said, all right. They have treated me 6 months. No side effect. Because I really cannot understand why you never had any side effect. I told him, I never get side effect, I get full effect. He asked me to go and take another bone scanning and what is that X-ray, MR, what is it? That one, and put into coffin and put in 35 minutes, take X-ray and told me everything is clear. Within 6 months. They told me at least 1.5 years it will take to shrink. In my case, only 6 months. Now everything is clear. What is the cause? It is not karma. I never pray to any god. I never pray to Buddha. I did not reduce my confidence. I knew nothing will happen to me. I did not worry anything about this. Every day I went out, preaching, teaching, attending. Everybody scolded me, you can't understand, you are sick. Never mind, if I can do, why do you worry? I did not neglect all my duties with confidence. Mental energy, confidence. The most important energy in this world. That one develop the immune system. When the minds we develop this energy, immune system support and support and support and cure the sickness. That is what the Buddha said, develop your faith and devotion and confidence. Then you can reduce and reduce and reduce your sickness. Praying and worshipping to God gives some consolation, to console our mind. Oh, I pray to God, I pray to Buddha, I pray to Bodhisattva, I think they support me. Then reduce fear and worry. Only for that purpose it is important. But to me that is praying and worshipping not important. Now I am free. Again, second part of the question. All our troubles and problems and sicknesses are not due to our bad karma, Buddha says. Only some of them are due to our bad karma. Due to our ignorance, our misbehavior, and changing our daily routine in our life, our food, our way of life. All these things contribute to create a lot of sicknesses, troubles and problems. Karma has nothing to do with it. See how practical Buddha has mentioned this.
The gentleman over there.
Yeah, good evening, Venerable Sir, and everyone all involved. I'm not a Buddhist, but I'd like to ask you, as you say, it's a mind...
You are a Buddhist or you are not a Buddhist?
No, I'm not a Buddhist. But as I listen to your talk, it's everything about the mind, right? I just want to ask for your advice. How to overcome our weakness? I believe everyone here has a reason to be here to listen to your talk. And it's not easy sometimes for any weak person like me or anybody here. to overcome? What's your advice?
I have written a book called Why Worry. Do you know how many people stopped committing suicide after reading this book? I met them not only in Malaysia, other countries also. America, Australia, Germany, and few couples who were separated due to misunderstanding. After reading this book, they have returned to me because of your book. Now we are living again as husband and wife. This book I have enlarged, now in the press. Lot of new worries there now in that book. Will be out on my birthday next month, not next month, this month, end of this month, my birthday. That book really helped those who have worries. Come to our temple. I give on this book. After reading and reading and reading, he comes with smiling face, borrow or buy 10 to 15 books to give to his friends, Because there we point out where the mistake is. We create imagination about our problems and trouble, and we are the culprit. We have created the trouble, but we blame others, we complain others. We are not ready to admit that I am also responsible for these troubles and this problem. When you read this kind of book, you can understand. Then your understanding can reduce fear, worry, suspicions, anger, all sorts of things. This book will be out end of this month, enlarged edition.
Any more questions? Yes, please.
Hello. Good evening, Venerable Sir. I have two questions, but I'll get one at a time. Okay, the first question is, why do Buddhism associate premature death with bad karma? If one can live this world without having to suffer old age and its associated sickness, is it not a blessing in disguise? Also, when one dies young with less bad karma, wouldn't it be better for one's next rebirth?
Actually, in that question, there is no meaning. No meaning. You have mixed up and muddled up everything. Ask this question. These are natural occurrences. Whether they have religion, whether they have God, whether they have karma or not. Now let us take animals. They have no religion, no karma, no God, nothing. But the way how they suffer, many kinds of sicknesses and troubles and problems and enormous things. So, these are natural occurrences. So, religion is important for us to understand and to train mind. When these natural occurrences disturb us, how to tolerate and how to make up a mind, not to worry, not to develop fear, otherwise no point. That is why the Buddha has advised us. Don't develop your craving too much for this world. The more you live, the more you have to suffer. No one is free from sicknesses, old age, troubles, worries and disturbance, whether they are rich or poor, educated or not.
But to us,
Doctor, funeral.
You are more than a monk and more than a Buddhist and you are more than a doctor. We learn so much from you after hearing from you, from the question that all of us took on to you. I remember, you see, that we have not heard about You have mentioned so many religions today, Hindu, Christianity, Muslim, but we have not heard from you about this Confucius and this Taoism and Buddhism, Confucius, Buddha, Taoist, all almost 2,500 years ago, almost of the same time. See? So people have asked questions that the Taoists pray to Buddha, but the Buddha don't pray to the Taoists.
What's that, Buddha?
They say in China, the founder of the Taoist religion, Taoist, they pray to Buddha. But Buddha.
Buddha lived 8 years before the in India. 8 years before.
8 years. But the Buddha do not pray to the Taoist. And then the Confucius, really, I do not know whether Confucius is a religion or not. But the teaching of...
I think I can understand your question. I'm not joking. It's a very, very good question. I can understand. Please sit down. These two Chinese philosophy, not accepted as religions, even in China. Taoism and Jainism, Confucianism, Chinese culture, Chinese tradition, Chinese way of life, Chinese philosophy, everything is there. But they did not introduce these two as religions. That is why they had to go to India. 2000 years ago, they went to India. They asked two questions from Confucius. Is it true whether there will be another life after our death? Confucius said, still we have not learned what this life is. How do we know whether there will be another life? Second question. Is there anything that we can do for our departed ones? Confucius said, still we have not learned to fulfill our duties towards the living one. So what can we do for the dead one? But they could not satisfy with this answer. That is why they decided to go to India. Having heard there is a religion called Buddhism. They stayed for many years, studied languages, Buddhism, collected all the important religious materials. Then they noticed very carefully 3 existing religions in India at that time. Brahmanism, today known as Hinduism. Jainism, extremist, that religion also still exists in India. And Buddhism. These 3 religions. These Chinese, they watch very carefully how they practice these 3 religions. Then they notice to practice Hinduism or Jainism, they had to follow Indian tradition, Indian customs, Indian way of life. Otherwise, they cannot practice those religions. But to practice Buddhism, it is not necessary for Chinese to become Indians. They can remain as Chinese. They can respect their Chinese culture. They can practice Buddhism as a religion. Without any difficulties, they introduced Buddhism in China. because of that. Therefore, these two are great thinkers, philosophers, psychologists, and all the great qualities were there. But they are not enlightened religious teachers like the Buddha. We respect them. We quote their beautiful saying in our publications also. They are not religions.
We just have one last question, sorry.
Now 10, start at 8.
Thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Dhammananda, for this beautiful talk that you've given us. First one is a comment. That is, you believe, you said that Buddha left and 550 million followed him. But at the end of it, I believe the wife too became a bhikkhu, a follower of Buddha, as well as the son. My question, that's a comment, and my question now is, good karma, thinking of good things, is that enough? Or doing action? Or do you have to do both? Which is more important? Because you cannot do everything that you think. Thank you.
I cannot understand your question.
Venerable Sir, you mentioned good karma.
Yes.
That's right. So it is at the end of it the control of the mind.
Yeah.
Therefore, thinking good, is that good enough? Or to do good? Or do you have to do both?
Thinking good is only one item.
Thank you.
Thinking good, one item. Talking gently, politely, second item. Do things perfectly, third item. And then completed.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful talk and also your answers. I think all of you are captivated by the answers, and there seems to be more and more questions, but unfortunately due to constraints of time, we just cannot pose another one more question. But if you really feel that you want your questions to be answered, please come to SBM tomorrow. The Chief Reverend will be there at 2 p.m. He'll be giving a talk. Come early because there's not enough, it's not a very big temple, so do come early. Okay, please be seated. I will now be inviting the Venerable Sirs up here to give you blessings. And then after that, I will make some important announcements. Venerable Sirs, this way up.
Actually, many of you do not know what these monks are going to do now. They are not going to dance. It is not a joke. When the monks develop their kindness, compassion, sympathy, for your well-being, for your good health, for your happiness, this mental energy, while reciting, they transmit, radiate. Again, in your case, you develop devotion, confidence, understanding, and pay attention by controlling your mind. When you pay attention, during that time, evil thought had no chance to appear in your mind. Mind is completely pure. When you pay attention with mindfully. It is very difficult for us to maintain our mind for 1 minute without allowing any of our evil thoughts to appear in the mind. Therefore, when we radiate our mental energy with sound vibration, this sound vibration, what we recite, are the words that come out from the Buddha's mouth, not our own. That is why we do not use another language. The word, the language used by the Buddha we repeat. It is mentioned, the Buddha was the only human beings in this world who lived without telling a lie in his whole lifetime. Today you have 6 billion human beings. Can you find out one human being never tell a lie? The Buddha did that. Therefore the words that come out from that holy mouth, for the last 2,500 years, all over the world, people benefited, get chance to what you call their sicknesses, troubles and worries. 1979, I went to London. Secretary General of the Party Society was very sick. He requested few monks to go there and do some chanting because he knows the Pali language very well. They translate the Pali teaching of the Buddha into English. So when we went there, he was lying down. You cannot talk, you have no strength. Few words. But he requested us to recite 7 Bhujanga Sutras. They know the names and the meaning of every word of these sutras. I like to listen 7 Bhujanga Sutras. So we recited for nearly half an hour. Believe me, when we ended our chanting, he got up, sat down. I never had this relief in my life for a long time. He was so happy. At that time they were collecting money to build London Buddhist Vihara. He asked to bring a checkbook and asked to write £10,000 donation to London Buddhist Vihara. The happiness that he gained, the immediate effect that he experienced after paying attention. So it's more psychological. We radiate sound vibrations, mental vibration. You attune your mind with devotion, confidence, understanding, with pure mind. Because in your mind, no chance to create any evil thought in your mind. It's a very important occasion. So now we are going to recite few sutras, chanting for your well-being, for your good health, for your happiness. Whatever religion you believe, we are all human beings. Therefore don't bother about religion. 3 days ago, Archbishop Sotapanandas came to my room. Please bless me. I always say, may the Buddhist God bless you. He was so happy and he blessed me. So, forget about religious labels. Think we are human beings. Then we can reduce our discrimination, superiority complex, all this discrimination. Pay attention. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavaraham samma sambuddho vijjacharana Sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati deva manusanam buddho swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko devasiko pranayiko vacchatam vedidambo Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujupatipanno Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Sāmīti patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yaditam cattari purisa yugāni aṭṭha purisa Esa bhagavato sangho āhudeyo āhudeyo dakkineyo anjali anuttaram puññakettam etena sacca vajjena pādutang rata etena sacca vajjena pādutang etena sacca vajjena pādutang rata sabbītiyo vivajjantu sabba rogo māte bhavatvantarāyo sukhitīgāyo bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba buddhānubhāvena sadā sotti bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammānubhāvena sadā sotti bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba saṅghānubhāvena sadā sotti bhavantu te. Good health and peace of life to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Venerable. Please be seated. Hinda on the 23rd of March, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. at Pokatsi on presence. And all those who have helped in one way or another to make tonight's talk a very successful one. And also I must not forget to thank all the sisters of the Man Fat Thong Welfare Friendly Society for really volunteering to help us tonight. And also you, ladies and gentlemen, for your presence here too. So good night, see you again, may you all be well and prosper. Just another information, Chief Reverend will be at Mangala Vihara in the morning, then in the afternoon he will be at SBN. Thank you.